and go
See, and
from
I'm
there.
careful with that though, as an agent. When I'm an agent, like I don't even send you an email about construction from my real estate email.
Hmm.
Like I've learned to separate the two.
Okay.
So the thing is, like I was selling a property in Irvington, New Jersey, and they were doing a 203,
Mm.
and they contractor show they know not the contractor. Someone showed up. I think it was the HUD inspector. So I'm
Okay.
on the porch because I let them in. And they like, well, to me, a contractor, ask her how much it costs. I said, I'm a realtor. I had, I'm a realtor right now. I'm not a contractor right now. Don't ask me anything because you'll
Right.
never say I said.
Right.
I got my name on my shirt. It say Tamika Weichert. I'm dressed in business attire. I am not answering any contractor questions.
Good day, good people. Welcome to another 203K Tuesday. I am your host, Aaron, the house person. And this is the place you come to find out everything you don't know about the 203K loan and learn how to use that loan to help create, build, and sustain generational wealth. So, look, y'all know what it is. I talk about the importance of team. You're never going to not hear me talk about the importance of your 203K starting lineup, right? And just for review, right, that lineup at that one position, or I'm saying one, that one position is going to be your realtor. You may hear some other people say different things, but I think it's your realtor because you're going to spend the most time with that person as you go through the home buying process, right? So that two, of course, is your lender. Three, the consultant. Four, the contractor. Five is going to be your title company. But today I got the pleasure of talking to a rock star realtor up there. I think they're the Garden State. I think they're the Garden State. Hope I didn't get that wrong. But Miss Tamika Lowe, I want to bring her in right now. Tamika, how we doing?
I'm good.
Good, good, good. So uh, definitely want to thank you for being here, coming to the platform. And what I like to do, I like to typically just jump right into the questions because a lot of the things that are normally discussed at the beginning of most interviews will be answered as we go through the questions. Then after that, we'll talk about you, your business, and pretty much anything else real estate related. That's cool?
Okay, that's cool.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So first question. Do you know the 203K loan from start to finish, and could you explain it?
Yes, I do know the 203K loan from start to finish, and I can explain it. It's a long, too long for the interview, but 203K loans are homeowner occupied loans. 203K loans are not only for extremely deteriorated properties. A person could go into a property and not like the kitchen or the bathroom. And if that lender does 203K loans, because not all lenders do 203Ks, and there are different type of 203K loans. There are some where if you do up to a certain number, you don't have to have additional inspections. But one of the biggest myths about 203Ks is that 203K loans cover the entire job, which is not true. So when I say that, I say that to say if you go do a complete rehab on a property and the construction loan comes in at the repairs come in, let's just say 100,000, and the bank only gave you 115,000, which means you have 15,000 in reserve for unforeseen circumstances, which we call latent defects in this business. And the repairs are over the 115,000 that the bank is giving you. You are responsible for the difference. So that's the biggest myth of 203s is that the bank cover everything. They do not. The other thing is a lot of people walk into properties because I am a realtor, so they walk into properties and there may be a kitchen that is outdated, but the house look great. We see it all the time. And let's just say if they just need 35,000 or 30,000, there are streamlined 203Ks that people can actually get that would cover a kitchen and a bathroom to where they're not actually going through a bunch of HUD inspections and things like that. So you always have to go and see what your lender actually offers. and see what you're up for. Because one thing about this business and these 203s, they not for the weak. And I say that because people get misconstrued about the time of essence, the cost, and what it entails. Because some loans, the bank will pay your mortgage while you're getting the work done. But if you're doing a complete rehab and the bank is only covering 6 months of your mortgage, what contractor doing a complete rehab in 6 months during this pandemic? So much has changed. I'm talking about from delays, inspections, increases in material, and you talking about not even being able to find material. There was a time when I did a house last year, a four family. We needed 41 doors, interior and exterior combined. We could not find at least 12 doors for a minute. And the thing is, so I take that back. No, we were able to find the doors. It's what the doors were going to cost. So you talking about a door in a frame, and they went literally like the cost of what an exterior door costs because they understand that people scrambling out here.
Yeah.
So now you want $300 for an interior door, a 30-inch door. You have to make a judgment call on that. It's either you waiting or you're going to buy that door for $300. But when you need 12 of them, that's a lot.
Quick, yeah. Now that add up real quick. Eat right away. That's right.
Exactly.
Eat right into that budget.
Up, and then the thing is, you can bill the homeowner, but do you really want to do that to someone over 12 doors? But at the same time, it's a catch-22 because get the 12 doors at this price, and then the actual homeowner is paying a mortgage. So you gotta balance it out. That mortgage still going to come because it's still more work to be done after these doors get put in. But at the same time, we looking for 12 doors. So there's a lot that comes with the business. A lot has changed, with the pandemic, and not in a good way. Unfortunately, it's almost like now when you see certain things, you have to purchase it because you're going to need it down the line, and you don't know if they're going to have it. 100%. Not everybody thinks like that, and that not all contractors have places to store. But I've created my own little warehouse in my basement, so I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
So hold on, because we don't want to give away too much right now. Okay. I got you with your realtor hat on, and we'll dig into the other things in a little bit. But as far as being the agent, how long have you been licensed?
I've been licensed since 2014.
Okay, 2014. Would you consider yourself a full-time or part-time realtor?
So I've always been full-time. I've always been full-time from the day I started. Mm-hmm. I started gradually going into part-time as I started putting on more of my contractor's hat.
Right.
So then, but I'm still considered full-time because I can still move the way I want to. 100%. So it's not like I have to wait to clock out to go and show a property. Right. I can leave the job site, go show a property, and I'll get into, I don't know if you want me to say that part of why I wear jumpers so much, because I wear people see me in these gasoline jumpers a lot. And that's like my signature look. So it's like people are always like, oh, I know it was you because I don't know any other women that wear jumpers like this. And it's because I'm usually dressed underneath. If I need to go show a house, I got on some pants and a shirt, I could go into this property and show a property.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So are you working with the team? You're doing an army of one as far as the real estate side of things, or how do you operate that side of your business?
So I am not working with a team. I have contemplated on leaving where I was as an agent and going with another brokerage that I felt like would give me more of an independent feel by building a team. However, you can build a team anywhere. And I'm the type of person that money don't really move me. So I like who I work for. I mean, we always can want some things different. But I love who I work for. I love my office. And that means a lot to me. I'm not in a business to make friends because we're independent contractors. But, sometimes it feels good when you're comfortable also where you're at. So my ultimate goal is to become a broker. I will admit I was in broker school. I pulled myself out in December because you know, with COVID, I wasn't really experiencing a lot of deaths like some people, where they
Mhm.
had friends and family constantly passing away. And then next thing you know, I have deaths hitting me. Deaths hitting me
Mhm.
on top of work. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm in school, sometimes on a job site. So I'm in mute. I'm on mute in school because they can't hear the banging and the stuff in the back. So I'm sitting on a dirty floor in broker class. But then it's like I couldn't focus. I couldn't really do what it is that I needed to do because, I lost one of my main guys. He was found dead. And it took me for a loop because I've never experienced the closeness of losing somebody, especially the fact that I was looking for him. So I'm calling him like he had no show for work, because he's done this before. It's one time he didn't feel good, he said, and he didn't come to work. So here it is. I'm looking for him for days to get a phone call that he was found deceased, but it was medical. So it took me because this is somebody I would, he works for me, but I treated him almost like a brother because he worked for me for so long. So it was like my mind couldn't really move forward with adding more to my plate because I add a lot to my plate by choice. But this was the one time I lost control.
I mean, that's understandable. My condolences.
Thank you.
Because yeah, that's a tough situation. Especially like I say, somebody you've been working with closely for a while, and yeah, my condolences. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this man more than I see my own father. You know what I'm saying? It's like crazy.
Man. Yes. So I mean, prayers up for you and the family for
Thank you.
for healing, because
Yeah, I mean,
that's a
it was
tough
just basically
situation.
like this. It was just a snowball effect. Once
Yeah.
he passed, it was just like one thing after another. And I had to come to terms with, you need to give up something. And I knew that school had to be the choice because it required my mind, So it wasn't like it was just a physical labor. It was actually a process of carrying work along with education. It became a lot.
Right.
But
No,
that's my ultimate goal is to get my broker's license. Where I would go from there, rather it be build a team or go independent, that's still yet to be said. But I consider myself an achiever. I'm like a serialpreneur. So I'm not one to not finish something. So I'll be back finishing that probably by spring.
cool. So, as far as 203Ks, what would you say is the most challenging part about the 203K process?
Okay, so the most challenging part is because the majority of the banks, not all banks. So you do have some banks that will give you a deposit.
Mhm.
Rather they consider it being for material or for having a project or a quarter of the project. So the hardest problem is this: you call a HUD inspector out. So I don't call HUD inspectors for every little thing. So you got guys that are demo, call for a drawer. I don't do that because one, you costing your client money, and then for every drawer that you do, they're gonna do a title search to make sure there's no liens before they release the money. So when you actually do all this work, the HUD inspector come out, and then you get your email with your drawer, and you're not getting the money you expect. So it really bothers me more because you can put out $50,000, literally 50,000, and you'll get a drawer for like 22,000. You'll be like, but this is the thing, you got to keep going.
Mm.
So that's why 203s are not for just anybody, and that's why a lot of contractors don't do them because you're really not supposed to take a 203 and then go to a homeowner and say, "Well, I need a deposit to start the work." That's not in the contract. You have to put the money out and you get reimbursed in drawers. So if you call in that HUD inspector, and it was a time where I came across because I get I get my a lot of my material from Philly. I haul it up on a large truck, and I had probably at least $30,000 worth of material in this truck, and I spent 30,000 and other things with salaries and, siding and all of these things. And I'm out like 60 something thousand, and they cut me a check for 18. So I had to keep going.
That's not even a third. Goodness gracious.
Because this is the thing. The material can't sit on the side. It got to be installed.
Right.
The stoves and stuff on board, the refrigerators, got to be installed. Where am I installing it if the cabinet's not in yet? But when I'm sitting here trying to stretch a budget and the homeowner agrees to buy fit refrigerators from one of my contacts because she's able to get like, $2,500 refrigerators for $600 and $800, I can't leave them. I got to take them because it's helping the budget, because now she has other things that needs to get done out of this budget. And I'm trying to help her not have to spend money. So it's like a judgment call that you make. But at the same time, that's the challenging part. You pull all this money out, and then a HUD inspector come, and you don't even, like you said, you don't even get a third sometimes.
Yeah. That's
Not to add, you got to have permits. I did a $25,000 roof and couldn't get a check because although you don't need a permit to do roofs in a lot of these towns, really in the majority, all of these towns, you don't need a permit. Their thing is this: we want permits because we're not releasing no money without them. So although I didn't need a permit for the roof, they wanted it, so I couldn't get paid my $25,000 back. I mean, it's coming, but who wants all their money sitting out there like that?
Right.
That's the challenge.
So, man. So, okay. Back to the realtor hat, because we interchange it, which is fine. Because you do that in real life, so it's natural.
Right.
As far as loan officers, like, are there any preferred loan officers in the area that you know of that are like, okay, like if you want to do a 203K, this is who you should probably work with, or these people, or the like.
Well, I work for Weichert, and we do mortgages, so I can't, I don't want to say their names because I don't want to go against the grain. But there are a lot of lenders that do 203K loans.
Okay.
I love the ones that give checks. I love the ones that give deposits for you to start. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there are a lot of loan lenders that I would particularly refer if someone asks me. Most of the time, people come with their own lenders already and their pre-approval and things like that.
Right. Okay. So, well, there are a few to choose from up that way.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So the next question is hilarious because, again, this is from the realtor perspective, but I think I already know the answer to the question. What experienced 203K contractors do you know? And of course,
me, of course. I mean, okay. So I do know other contractors that do 203s.
Okay. But
a lot of people are starting to not like 203Ks because of the whole money versus controversy. Because the only thing that it could take one disagreement with a homeowner, and now they want to go to arbitration. And it don't even have to be anything. You could be protected in the contract, but it's their right to go to arbitration if they want. That's the law. They're allowed to call for whatever they see fit. Even if you're innocent, even if the lender is telling you, you're fine. You ain't do nothing wrong, but we got to let them do this. So now they wasting time and money. Because a lot of people attach emotions to real estate. Rather they selling, fixing, or buying. It's just an emotional, it's emotional for a lot of people. 100%. And the thing is, I'm a Cancer. I don't know if you know anything about zodiac sign. They try to say we emotional because we Cancers, but that's the emotion that I don't attach myself to. So I just remain professional and I try to tell people the truth. And sometimes we have to tell people what they don't want to hear. And it's unfortunate.
Unfortunate it is for sure. Man.
Yes.
So, like right now, are you currently working with anyone who's using the 203K loan?
All the 203Ks that I'm on, I'm renovating.
Okay, so you're the contractor on those.
Yes, I am.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All
Yes.
right. Okay. So for those who are watching this and say, you know what, I mean, Tamika sound like she, you know, she know her stuff. She got both hats. She can, you know, she can help me out thoroughly because as a contractor, you definitely can walk into a space as a realtor and say, oh, okay, you're gonna need this, that, and go
See, and
from
I'm
there.
careful with that though, as an agent. When I'm an agent, like I don't even send you an email about construction from my real estate email.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've learned to separate the two.
Okay.
So the thing is, like I was selling a property in Irvington, New Jersey, and they were doing a 203,
Mm-hmm.
and they contractor showed they no, not the contractor. Someone showed up. I think it was the HUD inspector. So I'm
Okay.
on the porch because I let them in. And they like, well, to me, a contractor, ask her how much it costs. I said, I'm a realtor. I'm a realtor right now. I'm not a contractor right now. Don't ask me anything because you'll
Right.
never say I said.
Right.
I got my name on my shirt. It say Tamika Weichert. I'm dressed in business attire. I am not answering any contractor questions as I'm working as a realtor.
Gotcha.
Now,
Gotcha.
as a realtor, I might say something like, something is at the end of his life. You can fix this door. That's my job. It's good for agents to have knowledge about houses,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't wear a contractor's hat at the same time as a real estate hat. It's hard, but I don't.
Okay. Okay. That's a good deal. So if somebody say, okay, well, who can we talk to that you work with? Like, do you have a list of clients that you could refer? It's like,
Oh,
hey, here's
definitely.
somebody you can talk to. Okay, cool. So on the contractor side, because that concludes the actual questions for the realtor. But on the contractor side, since you are a contractor as well, I want to go ahead and throw a couple of those questions out at you as well. So licensed, bonded, insured, all that good stuff.
Yes. Lead
Okay,
renovator.
okay, and because I don't think we actually talked about it. So where's your location? Where are you working out of? As far
So
as
right now I'm sitting in my office. I have an office space in a condo building. You get the buildings, you could get your own office.
mm,
So what I did was I invested in my own office space so that I can meet with clients. If people want to go over paint colors, we do most of this stuff in people properties. Don't get me wrong. I'll sit at your kitchen table and do it too. But it may be a point to where it might need a like right now I'm getting ready to build an extension in East Brunswick, out and up. And if it would have came to the point where I really had to go over a bunch of stuff and I needed my electrician here and my plumber here and we come into my office.
mm,
You don't want to really do this in people's house having meetings. So I have an office space in Union, but my business is actually registered out of Newark.
okay, and
Um,
so I was like, so if for the folks who aren't watching, oh, excuse me, for the folks who are watching and don't really know cities and stuff, like what, give them the state.
so Newark, New Jersey, it's basically like 20 minutes outside of Manhattan.
Okay.
So I deal with a lot of people from New York because of that reason.
Mm,
Also, Newark is in Essex County, not too close. I'm not that far from like Newark Airport. I'm like 7 minutes from Newark Airport, literally. So I'm centrally located. So I'm usually between most of my jobs. If I have to go west, if I have to go south, if I'm usually centrally located to get to any of my jobs. But for the most part, I do a lot of moving around. It's times where I may be working in Watchung, in that area, and I might have to buy something from the Home Depot in Union because they don't have it out there. It's just you just move with the beat of the project,
right.
basically. But a lot of the times too, what people don't realize is it really doesn't even matter where a contractor is located. Because if you ever go and look online and they selling their vans, and you be like, oh my God, who could do 200 and something thousand miles on the 2016? We be all over the place. You know, Randolph, Brooklyn, as long as you don't need license. If you're not licensed in New York, you're not working in New York on things that require a license. But for the most part, a lot of these cities, it don't even really matter. It's just up to how far you're willing to go as far as the travel.
Okay. So for the most part, you cover pretty much Jersey, but you'll work in other areas as well. Like you
No,
go.
I burned myself out. No, it's everything is trial and error. So I am now not willing to go too far. So
Okay.
the furthest I'm willing to go is 45 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm not doing all that all the way down South Jersey, all the way up, going towards like that Phillipsburg. No, it's not
So
worth
like
it.
45 minutes from Newark.
45 minutes from Newark is the furthest I'll go.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And I think you said, because I was going to ask you about any additional credentials, anything like that. I think you said lead
Yeah,
certification.
yeah, I'm a lead renovator. So what happens is with a lot of these banks, especially like Annie Mac Mortgage, you have to have a lead renovation license. Very simple, easy to get. I needed it. I looked it up for something or I wouldn't have been able to take the job. And I found the class, starting 2 days later, went in, took the class, passed with a 95, and had my lead license. You do have to learn how to remove lead. So I actually did work using my lead renovation license for a job. I have a lot of realtor friends. They do refer to me a lot. So I had a realtor friend who was actually had a deal where the exterior of the house was peeling and the interior of the house is peeling. That is signs of lead. It automatically signs of lead. She was doing the FHA loan. There was no way to get past it. I took that job on. So, you have to tarp a certain way. You can't let paint chips hit the ground. You can't let them get in the soil. So there are a lot of things that come with lead renovation that seem simple, but the type of fines and penalties you can get for not remediating properly, it will put you basically in a hole and make you want to bury yourself. So it's not something that I would just run around and say, yeah, I'll just take that job. It's good money. Don't get me wrong. But all money, not good money. So, and then you don't want to do everything alone. So, one of the biggest things in this business is when people complain about contractors, it's the workers. It's not the contractor. So if I go get 5 guys and say, y'all coming with me on this job, here go your white suit, your goggles, and your mask, and then I turn around and he not following the rules, it would follow me anyway. So you really have to be careful how you remediate for lead. And then I have my OSHA 30. OSHA 30, people have OSHA 10. Most jobs will accept OSHA 10. It's not that I'm doing jobs that require OSHA 30. My next goal is to get my new build license because I want to get into building. I've already started working on getting those license. So I think OSHA 30 will fall in, which means anybody that works for me on my new construction has to have an OSHA 30 to work for me. I will have to follow OSHA guidelines and things like that. And the reason why I wanted to get into new construction, one, because I want to get into new construction, but it's really a bigger reason. You go out here and you buy these properties to renovate. So you pay $250 for a single family house in the area of your dreams. Okay, great. Now you need $250 more to renovate it. So now you have $500,000. Now you got all these fees for hot inspections, closing costs. Closing costs pretty steep. Half the time you might as well build. Because when we get in there, you got 1,000 latent defects. I mean, no, for real. You got you thinking that you walking in and you looking around, you look at what's on the surface. But when that wall come down and you start seeing termites and cracks and mold and fire was a previous fire that somebody covered up. So now you got to do this, you got to do that. I mean, it happens. That I'm not going to say that happens all the time, but from the way I see, even as a flipper, some of these houses you couldn't pay me to buy them to flip. Because why do I want to spend all this money in this market? Everything is going over asking. So I'm going to go spend all this money to go buy this house I got to flip. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put 75 into this, but I just opened up a $10,000 problem. I'd rather build.
Okay, that's what's up.
Especially because when you build, I'm not building. If I'm building as the builder and I'm not building as the investor, it's a different number.
Mm.
So it just works out better for the construction side.
Right. So as far as your crew, how long have you been, running that crew or
Okay,
running a crew in general?
so I started out with just me and like one other person. So it was like three of us. So I'm sitting here scratched up, bruised up, because I'm helping install cabinets. I'm pulling up subfloors. I'm doing demo. I'm leveling. I mean, I had to do everything because I didn't have that team. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for salaries to be paid yet. So once that happened, so I still have my carpenter since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was basically still working with me for 4 to 5 years. My guy that passed, he was with me for almost 4. I had another gentleman that I had to let go that was with me for a while. But everybody else now was like 3 years, 2 years. I don't do day laborers at all. So you see a lot of the day laborers sitting outside Home Depot or places where people contractors come,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be hardware stores or whatever. And my thing is this: if I was to get a day laborer that worked well, he wouldn't be outside anymore. I would hire him permanent. So why do I want a day laborer that somebody won't keep? Because I tried that before and it burnt me. They say they can do something. And then my thing is this too. I don't know where you live at. I barely know your real name. So I'm picking up a stranger to come work with me for a day. And anybody that stole from me or made a mistake, who am I blaming?
Right.
If I picked up a stranger. Because these men are
Right.
strangers.
Yeah.
So I'm into teams. I'm into actually building a team. My guys, they know each other, comfortable with each other. Like, I was at one job site like last week, I was at one job site with one guy. And then I had a team of 3 at another job site. So my thing is this: while we at this job site and he needed a tool, I told him to go in my other carpenter who wasn't there. He had tools there. I said, go in his stuff and get the tool out. He already knows to put it back, but I can't do that with a day laborer. He might go in his tools and never bring it back. It might take the whole damn box.
Right. Yeah. We
Because
don't
we
want no
dealing with
trouble.
day laborers. One of the biggest curse in this business is that, a lot of these guys, depending, they still, I've watched guys still. The thing is, if I say I'll be back and I go to Home Depot and I leave the day laborers and they go put and hide stuff in bushes, all they gotta do is go back and get it when I leave.
Thanks.
So no, I'm team, and I'm part of my own team. I do the work too. I frame, I backsplash. I don't tile my bathrooms or anything like that. I have my guy that does the tiling, but I do frame small jobs. I do paint. I'm one of my best painters on my team. There's a lot of things that I do. Like I stand and stain. None of my guys stand and stain. I'm the only one that do it.
Okay.
So I have a stand and stain. I have to do that on one of my jobs. That'll be the last thing I do so that they don't come back through my steps. So there's things that I do that my guys don't do. There's things that they do that I don't do. But the thing is, in this business, contractors really don't have to touch anything if they don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
We really could. I could show up in high heels and a skirt on and just point and say, "This need to be." I don't do that because I feel like, to me, if I was on the other side and I'm giving somebody my money to renovate my house, I feel like, that's not the perfect way to look at it. But who wants to give somebody their money and then don't see them no more? Like
Okay.
right now, I get a phone call that one of my old clients had water damage in their house.
Mm-hmm.
Where I get my cabinets from is not open to the public. It's only for contractors or if you have a showroom.
Mm-hmm.
I get the cabinets from there. The reason is because the price is wholesale and I'm supposed to put a price on it for me. But I didn't do that for this person. I gave them the price I got it for. Now they had water damage. They didn't call me to do, because I do insurance jobs too. I'm actually in the middle of an insurance job now. They didn't call me to do the insurance job. They called somebody that they was referred to because he can come. Okay, he did it. But they called me for the cabinets. Get it? He doing the work, but they need me to get the cabinets. I absolutely have no problem with that. The problem I have with it is I asked you to ask your contractor to measure for cabinets. I need a complete layout for the wall because unfortunately, I don't have the template, nor does the cabinet people because this was 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Now they mad and they got to pay me to come measure it and do the kitchen layout.
It could have been a one-stop shop situation.
Right. So it's like, it's one of those situations. And my thing is, it's a lot of guys, it's a lot of people, period, because there are a lot of women in this business also that hold a license.
Mhm.
I always say that it's not good to hold a license for something you're not educated in. Do you speak the language? Can you jump in if you're short staffed? You can't go to your one of your clients and say, I'm not coming today because my carpenter's sick, or my painter's sick, or my this sick. You got to be able to do something.
Mhm.
I put my guys on the job that got extended. So what I did was on Friday, I went and I compound all the sheetrock, put all the tape on, did everything. I did the first. I had to make a blowout patch for a hole. I did that. I had to do it because I can't tell this lady I can't finish her bathroom on time. So I had to go prep it for paint.
That's all right. So you roll your sleeves up, or better yet, you put on your jumpsuit
Put on my
and,
jumpsuit.
and get right to action. That's all right.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's all right. So you said you're working on a few 203Ks right now on the contractor side.
Yeah. So as we're sitting here, I have my architectural plans, my permit paperwork. I'm getting ready to do well. One is a insurance job through Wells Fargo,
Okay.
fire job. That's what the plans is for. The house is rebuilt out and everything. So I have the tendency of which this is going to be my last job where I go behind a contractor. A lot of people have been getting screwed by contractors lately. And this lady got screwed by a contractor. So, you have contractors that chase fire trucks. They show up at the fire and
Mm-hmm.
ask for the homeowner and they stick their card in your hand and say, we can help you. Well, this lady got taken advantage of. So I'm finishing the job. So I'm doing a change of contractor. But last year I did 3 of those, change of contractor.
Mm. So you're
And
stepping on in to save people.
I'm saving people, but it's becoming like a bit stressful because I did one and the guy gave the lady 23-inch bathroom doors. Who want to go in the 23-inch bathroom door? So now I gotta try to figure out a way how to get her 28 inches at least.
So she got
So you shimmying through, yeah.
man.
I mean, the framing off, the doors is off. So I'm fixing problems too. I'm not just going and I'm doing one. I'm doing a job now in Newark. It's not an insurance job. It's a kitchen job, and the guy got taken advantage of. I walk in and I felt like I was gonna fall through the floor because this guy said he fixed the subfloor. Well, the subfloor flicks now. Like we use laser beams. We do the whole nine. So I leveled the floors. I supported the floor. They have new beams going through now. It's the way it's supposed to be. So I do get calls to come and save people, but I can't do it no more. It's too much.
Yeah,
Because
no,
the
that's
thing is, I'm
understandable.
constantly fixing it.
I said that's definitely understandable, trying to correct other people's errors, and then the fact that you, like you said, you got a shortage of all types of supplies left and right, in addition to the increase of price for said supplies as well. So yeah, I mean, you've done your share of saving folks.
Yeah, it's too stressful to do, though. I'm not gonna be doing it anymore. This is gonna be my last job like this.
Are you continuing with the 203Ks as a contractor? You will continue to do those?
Um, am I continuing? I am,
Okay.
but I have to speak in detail with people before I touch them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like to hear they have to put money out. People don't like to hear that it doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like to hear that once the bank is not paying your mortgage no more, you got to pay it even if the work is not finished. People don't like to hear that. And then I get the attitude, now you looked at as the bad person. And I don't work under tension. If we can't be adults and work together, then it doesn't make sense for you to even for me to even get involved with you. Like I'm to the point now I'm turning down jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a job. I didn't like the neighborhood. And I felt like it was a place where my workers or myself couldn't leave any tools. We would have to carry them out every day. No driveway. We would have to park sometimes 2 and 3 blocks away from the property. And I just can't have my carpenters and my other guys walking through neighborhoods with thousands of dollars worth of material only for somebody to steal it from them or knock them over the head to take it in these neighborhoods. Right. So I had to tell the guy that one, there won't be enough security at the location to keep people from breaking in. As I'm what I went through this morning because I had security there, and I just can't do it. I'm not taking the risk. I'm not putting in claims for missing tools.
Yeah, I mean, safety is first all around.
It is.
Not just the actual construction part, but the human safety of dealing with the elements outside the house. So
yeah, I had to sleep on it.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I had to sleep on it. I'm like, you know what? I can't put them in that situation. Yeah. I mean, bad area, bad. Right.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not mad at you about that decision. So that's a good deal. That's a good deal.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, nobody wants to be put in that situation.
Mm-hmm. So, Tamika, I got women in construction ambassador.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What's that all about?
So there is well, how can I say it? Like a myth basically that construction is a dominated field. And it is to an extent. Mm-hmm. We see women on construction sites. I have a woman that works with me that's a carpenter. Mm-hmm. She is a union carpenter, but she works with me sometimes on little things and she comes to help me and things like that. But there are women in construction that are paving the way. Like what people don't realize is one of the biggest construction companies just did, I think, Newark Airport in LaGuardia. That's a woman-owned construction company that did all that work. Yeah. She was raised into the business, but you don't have to be forced into the business because you was raised in it. You know what I'm saying? So she speaks the language. She can do it. So the thing is, this is not just a male-dominated industry. You have women like myself that actually know the work, can do the work. But then you have women behind the scenes. So if you go on the website for women in construction, which is the expo that's going to be held at the Javits Center in New York on the 2nd and 3rd, a majority of the women the speakers are women. These are women that behind green movements, power companies that are behind big construction companies. They may not put on steel-toe boots like me, but they do this business. They know this business. So we're showing that women are in construction.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And you said the event is in New York on
March 2nd and March 3rd at the Javits Center in New York. There are free tickets and then there are VIP tickets that comes with a price. I'm pretty sure people are still able to get in, into the expo. I was referred by someone that, because sometimes you don't know what people look at you. People look at us, people follow us, they don't have to comment or anything like that. But people are watching. So I was referred to become an ambassador from someone who's been watching. And I appreciated that because I do love this business. It has become overwhelming at some points of my life. So that's what I'm trying to get. But it's with any business. You build a business, no business runs smooth. But I just never wanted to be caught up in the conversation of a bad contractor.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
my biggest pet peeve. So the thing is, we have our workers, and I would never say that I don't take any responsibility for anything, but one of the biggest problems in this business is the workers. You go to a restaurant and you sit down and you order your drink, your appetizer, your main course, and your dessert. But outside it say Mr. Williams' place. Mr. Williams didn't make your drink, your dessert, your steak, and he didn't make your buffalo wing appetizer, right? He probably in the kitchen, but he didn't make everything. So
Right.
when you say your cake didn't taste good, remember that Mr. Williams is not the one that made the cake. He
Right.
has a baker in the back that makes his cakes. So you only way make Mr. Williams look bad because Mr. Williams' name is in the front, but we know that
Right.
he can't make your whole meal.
Right.
So it's a
100%.
situation like that. So I always say this: I babysit grown men. My guys do respect me. They pretty much know how I work. I'm pretty easygoing. And the reason why I'm pretty easygoing with them is because I do believe that energy is brought onto a workplace based on who you work for, how you treat it, how you're paid. So I'm conscious of that. It's not like, why you outside? Why you on a cigarette break? The only thing I say is, you on a cigarette break, why you just throw them cigarettes on that lady ground? She don't smoke. Pick them up. I say that. Don't nobody want a bunch of cigarette butts on the side of their house because my workers smoke.
So
You
basically,
know?
fair but firm.
Yeah. So it's basically like, I might say, we now somebody's counter is installed. Why you just put your drill set on top of her brand new counter with nothing under your drill set? She don't need scratches in her granite or her quartz. They can scratch their own counter up. We don't need to scratch it for them.
Right.
Why you just wash your paintbrush out in that lady new sink? Little stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
People are not conscious of. I'm conscious of stuff like that because you don't want your new sink having white street marks from white paint in it.
Right.
You want your new sink to look new. So those are the reasons why, I say I babysit grown men.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a good job keeping people in line, doing the right
I
things.
do, but I'm being honest with you. I've had to kick back money for things.
Right.
Because I'm not going to let, like one of my guys went through the floor yesterday. We doing somebody's subfloor. He went through the ceiling. So he like, oh, we went through the ceiling. Luckily the guy owns the whole house. And it's not a big area. It's a little area. And he like, oh, well, I think I still got the ceiling paint. So I said, even if you don't, I'll buy the paint. We fixed the hole. I'll paint your whole ceiling over. No explanation needed.
Right.
If you have the paint or not. Like some things are just rocket science. You don't have to go through all that.
Yeah.
We fixed your ceiling. We cleaned it up. And then that's basically it. It's not about, we don't have to go and paint your whole ceiling. It's just this little area. No, I'm going to get a man new ceiling. You can't do stuff like that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now that's a good thing because, like you said, as far as reputation is concerned, going the extra mile is something that's going to leave a good feeling, a good memory in your client's mind and heart versus like, yeah, the Bama stepped through the ceiling, they passed it and everything, but you see they painted right there. You know what I mean? So going that extra mile is important. That's a good trait to have.
Yeah.
Real good trait. So teaching, that seems to be something that you're doing as well in the construction space or will be doing. You can clear which side of the fence you're on, but can you talk a little bit about the teaching of people?
So I have done quite a few seminars where I speak to people. I usually walk away with business too. That's what's good about it. I'll do a seminar and walk away with business. So I've done a few. I've done one for a women's meeting at City Hall before, where I spoke about the financial literacy and investment and things like that. But for this situation, this is going to be me teaching young adults and probably middle-aged adults about the project management of this business. Because what people get misconstrued is you can go, the average man can go and do your whole kitchen over. But what about the project management? What about the paperwork? What about the right contract? What about the change orders? You know, that's a lot of the things that's missing in this business. If I give a guy sometimes paperwork and say, I need my permit back, 9 times out of 10, his wife probably did the paperwork. Because a
Yeah,
lot of men in this business, I'm learning, don't really do the paperwork. You know,
100%.
and if they do it, but not all of them do it. They get help. Like I get guys that be like, oh, let me reach out to my wife to do the permit for you. Little stuff like so. I want to teach people how to do because just because you're doing somebody's kitchen that don't require a permit, you still should run that business properly. Like you still should give them a breakdown of material versus labor. Because we have to do it for the banks, we have to do it for the insurance companies. I just really can't. I can't go to the bank and say I want 15,000 for this kitchen or 20,000 for this kitchen without telling them what's material and what's labor.
Mm-hmm.
So if we start to teach people in this business why we charge what we charge and where the money goes, so that when you have a change order and you need more money, it makes sense. And you're not arguing with somebody, and now y'all in court, and now y'all trying to figure out why y'all can't get to the finish line because y'all at odds. That's because you didn't do your paperwork right.
Yeah, I can attest that I found quite a few folks like they can do the work, but the paperwork is something completely different.
Yeah.
And especially in the 203K space, like that's one of the things that a lot of people complain about when it comes to the contractors. Like, you know, I've been asking the contractor for weeks to fill this paper out, and they keep saying they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And, you know, whether it's because they are really that busy or whether it's because they're looking at the paperwork like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, but you got to get it done. So I think that's very important. And then as far as like your clients or would-be clients are concerned, them understanding the process, like I believe in educating my clients as much as possible beforehand. And then as we go through the processes, I can point back to, remember we talked about this, that, and the other. So by educating them, you know, it just makes it an easier process, in my opinion, because again, like you said, you're not at the back end talking about like, oh, well, this is what this change order is for. This is what a change order is. You know, it's like, oh, yeah. You told me about that. Okay, I understand. You know, they might not like it, but at least they're not like abrasive and just argumentative about it because they understand, like you took the time to explain to them, like, this is what might happen. So, you know, if it does, I want to bring it up again and remind you, like, remember we talked about. So,
and it's not even a long class. I think the class is only going to be probably a 12-hour class, 2 days. Mm-hmm. Because it's nothing to really, you know, project management itself is a course in the, you know what I'm saying? But this is just to go with the school and to teach people that don't just go pick up a hammer and work on somebody's house. Because a lot of the times too, people don't understand when you're doing like bathrooms for people and they might want subway tile. So you want subway tile and you don't want 12 by 24 or 6 by 24 or whatever. That makes a difference too, the size of the tile. So you want to show people why you're charging what you're charging. Like it has to make sense. Because I'll tell somebody in a minute, I'll do your backsplash, but bring the herringbone backsplash to me if you want to. You're paying more. It's thick and it's herringbone. And you got to cut it a certain way. You have to align it a certain way. You have to, it makes a difference.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But that's good that you are letting the folks know, like, hey, this is what it is, you know, and this is why it is what it is. So that's good. And then that you're educating other folks as far as the other contractors about how they can, you know, level up their business and just really keep you all looking good or as good as possible. Because, you know, when one contractor does something bad, the next contractor that comes behind, they already got decided like, I wonder if they about to do the same thing to me, or I wonder if they, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, education is key. And so hats off to you. Salute for doing that. So flea market flip.
Oh yeah, I was on Flea Market Flip on AGTV. It's been some years,
Uh-huh.
but that's a show that I will always watch. Always watch. And I ended up going on. We went to a flea market. We found old used furniture, and I did buy a piece of a tree, lined like a stone from a tree, and we turned it into a table. So it had to be belt sanded and polyurethane and all of that. And we do actually work on the materials that we go to sell. So when me and one of my good friends, Lynette, we went on that show. Big shout out to her because even since then we've both been growing in our businesses, and it was a good experience. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm working on my own show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, thank you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Congratulations. I'll be looking
Ultimate
forward
goal.
to.
So I guess I'll just leave that there.
Yeah, we'll leave that there. We don't, we don't have to go into
That
detail.
that's a while in the making, but that's been the ultimate dream and goal of mine is to have my own renovation show. But the way I'm doing it is I'm doing it a bit different.
Okay. So folks, be on the lookout. All right, Tamika, she's working on her show. So at some point in time, we'll be able to tap in and check out what she got going on. So that's exciting news. Thank you for sharing that. Shoot. Yeah. That's great. All right, so this it's been an hour. The hour kind of went by pretty fast, actually. Right.
Yeah.
But I wanna read something to you, and then I want you to tell me what it means to you.
Okay.
Right. So it says, I'm in this uncomfortable stage of my life where my old self is gone, but my new self isn't quite here yet. I'm stepping into her though. I'm all about that transformation. So what do those words mean to you?
So contracting, construction, real estate has been life changing for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't grow up. I didn't have it hard growing up. I didn't have those struggle stories. I grew up, in a good home. I've had everything I've ever wanted. I grew up spoiled, all of that. However, we become adults. We don't ask to become adults, right? We got to take on this responsibility because we grow older. Right. So my biggest thing has always been I'm afraid of struggle. So I'm pretty frugal. People call me cheap, but I'm frugal. I travel. I do what I want when I travel. I am in the first class 80% of the time when I'm traveling. That's just what I do. Everybody do what they want with their money. That's how I choose to do. However, being in this position, it's almost like you pinch yourself. You're like, this really happening for me? It's almost scary because it's almost like you never want to feel that you outgrew where you're from, who you've been with, who you grew with, or anything like that. It's not that. It's just that when you see people rags to riches story, like for instance, you look at Cardi B. She got new teeth, new zip code, new tax bracket. I'm not saying that I'm gonna be this multi-millionaire, which I'm working hard to become. I have an ultimate goal to be a millionaire by 50. But at the same time, it's like, are we really ready for it? I share enough on social media. And unfortunately, the peers that we have around us and the things around us, the circumference of what we do, sometimes put us in vulnerable positions to where you got to look over your shoulder, or you feel like you don't belong, or you feel like a target, or you feel like you can't share too much, or you feel like you can't have certain things because it can be taken away from you. We see it on a regular basis. So it's like the safety part of it and the emotional side of it, the mental side of it, is like, am I ready? I'm ready because I'm working hard to get there. But as it's happening, and then you start feeling like, you know what? Everything 5-star. Nothing below this. Everything is supposed to, I want everything like this because I can afford it. And then what happens when the people that you want to go on this journey with you can't afford those things? Do you put them in that position to afford them, Or do you say, you know what, I got it this time and then I'm gonna have it next time? Or, and it's nothing against anybody personally, but when we grow, our life don't always go with it the way we want it to go. So where I'm sitting, it's like I'm sitting in a space where I want to be and I want to be better, but how do you get there without, feeling like it's a bit complicated?
Right. Nah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, you we are supposed to grow. But you want people to grow with you, but it's like I can't let you hold me back either. But you kind of, you're in that weird space, feel a little funny that if that person or people aren't growing at the same rate, same pace, and for lack of better terms, keeping up, it's like, well, I mean, I don't want to feel bad like I'm leaving you, but I still got to go do me.
Yeah, it's
But
like
then,
it's just like a lot of things. Like, I'm a partner in a media company now. That just and my partners in his media company, we get together a lot lately. We at different restaurants. These are a la carte restaurants. I mean, and it's not unheard of for people to spend $400 and $500 on lunch, $800 on dinner. But that's what it's been. So it's like I don't want to go and feel like I need to put those type of demands on my friends or certain people I'm usually around. When I tell them that I don't want to go there and eat, I want to go here and eat. I can't expect for them to want to spend the way I might want to spend, because I might not spend the way they might want to spend. You got like it really, to society. If some of these women made the money I made, I'm supposed to have Chanel bags and bunch of Gucci this and Balenciaga that. And I do have some of that. Don't get me wrong, but it's such a small amount that I own that says it doesn't really match, because I don't run and do that. I'm still living below my means. I'm driving a 2017 Honda Pilot. It's paid for it. It's fully loaded. It's one of the most fully loaded pilots you could get. I own it outright. It's a 17. It still look good. I got less than 60,000 miles. I got a DVD player in there. Do I need to go get a new car because it's a 17?
nah.
Because I can afford to? I see everybody running getting Teslas, and I like my money where I can see it. Even though we can't take it with us, but there are other things that I would choose to spend my money on.
Right.
Like in St. Bart's on a yacht for the day. I love experiences. I'm not materialistic.
I love it. I love it. All right. So, Tamika, for the folks who are looking for you, where can they find you? Like, website, social media, all that.
So I am on Instagram. I do have a page that I don't use as much. She Contractor, one word. I am also on Instagram under Mrs. Ambitious. So Mrs. underscore Ambitious 75. So so Mrs. is MRS underscore. I do have a page on Facebook, She Contractor. And I do have a toll-free number that people can reach me at that I answer, 888-640-1737.
Okay. All right. And the social media, that's the best place as far as looking for you. Just go there.
Yes,
And
and
your
my
website,
website is
everything.
under construction, and it's my
Okay.
fault that it's still under construction. They still waiting on stuff from me to finish it. So hopefully that'll be finished next month.
All
Because I'm
right. So
trying to do a really good website.
gotcha. So She Contractor on Facebook and IG, Mrs. underscore ambitious 75 on IG, and
Yes.
888-641-1737.
640 640
640
1737.
1737. Yeah,
Yes.
I have zero down. I don't know why I read it. Yeah. So all right. So Tamika, I appreciate you being on the platform, sharing your story, your experiences, and even some of your struggles. I think that folks will definitely get some gems from this.
Thank you.
And Congratulations on the pending show. Whenever it
Thank you.
hits, congratulations. I'm gonna say I'm the first one to tell you, but I might not be. But I'm still gonna say I'm the first one. But
Yes. Well, I really don't share it because we don't like to share things prematurely. But
understandable. But that's
so
all
that's
right.
why I say that much because nobody know if it's coming this year or next year.
That's all
So
right. That whenever it comes, it's on the way because you're working
exactly.
for it, and it sounds like it's well deserved. So
Thank you.
again,
Appreciate it.
not a problem, not a problem. Again, thank you for your time, and
Thank you.
we will be talking again soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that's all I got for y'all today. Thank you for tuning in. See you next 203K Tuesday. Signing out. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell. Thanks for watching.